now so we can get that on there. Okay, so we're going to discuss immunity right now because, you know, one of the things that we can do every day, I mean, not just this virus, but everything that goes around, there's flus, there's colds, there's all kinds of things we can catch because, you know, they're out there. And we want to stay as well as possible because who here likes being sick?
Not me.
Absolutely not. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so that you can see some pictures. And we're going to talk a little bit about these. Okay. The first time I've done this format. Okay, so I'm really glad to have you here. And we know, you know, when we talk about viruses, we know when there's a bug going around, it's important to wash your hands. And what else are we supposed to do? Cough into our
elbow.
Elbow, that's right. Get that up there in the elbow so it doesn't get on other people, right? And make sure you cover your face when you sneeze with something. If you can't cough into your elbow, grab your shirt or something. Don't cough into your hands if you can avoid it. That is one way to help prevent illness from spreading, right? And we each have to be responsible for our own immune issues, right? So we want to make sure that our immune system is strong. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to strengthen your immune system using the oils that we know and love so well, right? So we can use them, we can diffuse them, we can take them internally because they're doTERRA brands, we can take them internally, most of the oils, right? We can diffuse them and all of the oils are available for topical use, but we want to use them correctly because like Amber said earlier, she does not like the feel of some of the oils if it's too strong on her skin because it feels like it's burning, right? We've all been there. Everybody here's done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about immune support. So let's talk about cinnamon. Cinnamon's a really fun one for our immune system. And cinnamon oil is interesting because if you've used cinnamon in the past, and everybody here has probably used cinnamon before, it tastes bitter, right? But cinnamon essential oil from the cinnamon bark actually tastes sweet. So that's really good because we can use it for some of the things that we normally eat, and we can use it to sweeten some of those things. So we know it's the cinnamon is derived from a tropical evergreen tree. It grows like 45 feet high or so, and it has a really fragrant bark. And that's where we get the oil. doTERRA gets the oil from the bark of the plant. And cinnamon oil supports a healthy metabolic function. It helps maintain a healthy immune system when needed most, which is like now, right? We're gonna get our healthy immune system. So some of the ideas for using cinnamon. Try putting a couple drops in an empty veggie capsule just for immune support. That's one way to do it. That to me is boring because I don't like to waste cinnamon. I absolutely love the taste of cinnamon. So you can put a drop of cinnamon in hot water or tea and drink slowly to soothe an irritated throat, or just because you like it. And right now, one of the things I read about preventing the spread of respiratory type viruses is if you can drink warm liquids, that will help prevent the virus from getting into your respiratory system. So sipping warm liquids is a good idea. So if you'll drink tea, if you drinking some soups, or if you even drink some warm water. One thing I do is I put a drop of cinnamon oil in a big bottle of water like this. I can taste it in one big, huge bottle of water, just one single drop of cinnamon oil. And it gives a pleasant, just kind of a sweet taste to my water. So it's a lot more fun than just plain water, right? So that's another way to get cinnamon into my system. You put 2 or 3 drops of cinnamon in a spray bottle for a quick and effective cleaning spray. So and my daughter does this. She likes to clean with cinnamon. Sometimes she'll use cassia because cassia is cheaper, but cinnamon has more of the chemical makeup we want for immune boosting properties, although they smell very similar. You can also diffuse a few drops in your diffuser. And as I told Nancy earlier, we all are aware when you use a diffuser, traditionally diffusers take about 5 drops of a strong essential oil. If you're using a store brand essential oil, you may need more drops, but with doTERRA, we traditionally go with 5 drops total. That means you can put 5 drops of an oil, or you can mix your oils. So you can put several different oils in at one time. You don't have to have just one oil in there. And so if you're trying an oil, let's say, like I had somebody tell me, use vetiver. Vetiver can help you calm you and everything. So I put vetiver in my diffuser and I'm like, wow, I do not like the diffused smell of vetiver. It's a pretty weird smelling oil. So I took out my wild orange, added a couple drops of wild orange. Now it smells so much better. So those are some things you can do with your diffuser. You can put oils in liquid to drink it. And if you are using cinnamon on your skin, be very careful. Cinnamon is a hot oil. Make sure you dilute it plenty. And they say at least 1 drop to 10 drops of oil. You know, not a weak dilution. You want to really dilute your cinnamon if you're going to put it on your skin. Okay. And then avoid sensitive areas. We avoid usually our eyes, obviously some of the inner ears, certain areas of the face that are more sensitive than other areas. Make sure that you're avoiding. Okay, and now let's see. Oops, I went backwards. Okay, eucalyptus. So eucalyptus, another one of our oils that are great for immune benefits. And what do we notice so far? I've said cinnamon and eucalyptus. What oil contains at least those 2 ingredients? Do you guys know? Who knows which oil we have contains both of those ingredients?
I think On Guard.
Yep, you're right. Because On Guard is designed to be immune boosting. It's for our immune system, right? So we have eucalyptus as one of the other ingredients, and it's really high in eucalyptol, very high in that, and alpha terminal makes it really ideal for promoting feelings of clear breathing, open airways, and that's what we want right now, right? We want to support our respiratory system. We want that to be strong right now. You can diffuse eucalyptus all day long. Most people like the smell of eucalyptus. Some people use them in bath bombs. I don't know if you've ever done that, Barbara, but eucalyptus in a bath bomb or shower bomb.
No,
Yeah, really good in the shower. My daughter actually just takes drops of eucalyptus when she's in the shower. She'll throw it around because it smells really good when you diffuse it in your shower. You can combine it with like lemon or peppermint oil in a spray bottle, and you can use that to wipe down surfaces in your kitchen or bathroom. Remember, if you mix it with lemon, it's kind of nice because then it also has the grease cutting ability. So if you are cleaning some things that are greasy and need more cleaning, good one also to add if you're doing mirrors. If you don't want to just use lemon by itself, you can add it to eucalyptus. And when you put them in a spray bottle like that, you're using very little of the essential oil. And just to give you an idea, if you take a total of about 30 drops of an essential oil, you're going to be able to put that with at least 8 ounces of water. So that's going to make you a nice, strong spray, but not using a too much amount of oil. Remembering that one of these bottles that are usually sold this way in the 15 milliliter usually has about 280 drops in it. So you can get a lot of cleaners out of that, right? And then, yeah, if you ever decide to use eucalyptus in the shower, it's really fun. That's a really good one to use in the shower. So you might want to think about that. And then we have, let's see what else we got here. We got peppermint. So when we're using peppermint for immune boosting benefits, this is one of the oils that is in the immune blend that doTERRA has. So doTERRA has something called Tri-Ease. And what is Tri-Ease? It's lemon, lavender, and peppermint taken internally in a soft gel format, because we know that those are immune boosting oils. So we know that peppermint is a hybrid of watermint and spearmint, and it was first described in the 1700s. I mean, we've known about this a really long time. Super high menthol content, which you absolutely can't miss, because if you smell peppermint, you all know how strong that smells. And if you get it close to your eyes, you don't even have to touch your eyes, but you get it close to your eyes and your eyes start watering because it is so unbelievably strong. And so that's how you know a good peppermint oil too. So if you get a peppermint oil even close to your eyes, it should make your eyes water if it's got a really high menthol content, which is usually what we're looking for in a peppermint oil.
You don't have
So
to.
we also know peppermint's also good for upset stomachs. If you occasionally get somebody something like that, really good for respiratory function when taken internally, and also respiratory function when you just put it in your hands. So the way a lot of us use peppermint oil, so there's 2 ways you can do it. One is you take a drop of peppermint oil, you put it on your hand, rub your hands together, cup it over your nose, inhale, and you usually get a burning sensation, just really split second of burning sensation. If you add a drop of wild orange to your hand when you do that, that will stop that split second of burning sensation, but we'll still get the benefits of the peppermint oil. So generally we'll say peppermint and wild orange together. And if you can do it with kids, definitely peppermint and wild orange together so that you get that momentary sting, because it's not pleasant. It is very
You don't have to listen.
You can apply it with the carrier oil to the chest. And like Amber had said earlier, she doesn't like the peppermint oil, and so she needs to dilute it more. So different people are going to need more dilution on peppermint oil. So if you put it on, it's too strong, just add more carrier oil. If you don't like that sensation, that really, really strong cooling sensation, it's not burning you. It's actually really, really cold. It's making it cold really fast. You can go ahead and add some more carrier oil, and that'll take care of that burning sensation. But it does help open the airways. It definitely helps clear mucus. So anytime you get any mucus buildup, and that's what we're trying to avoid right now. We do not want to have mucus buildup. Mucus prevents our bodies from working efficiently. So we can use our oils to help keep those airways open, keep your systems clear. So here we have Arbor Vitae and lemon. If you're seeing the screen, if you're on an iPhone, I'm explaining everything. If you're not actually on a screen, but if you are on a screen, you can see these pictures and see the different oils. We have Arbor Vitae and lemon. These are cleaning agents. So lemon is really cleansing, and it's cleansing internally. It's cleansing for our mirrors. It's cleansing for our houses. It's cleansing for our keyboards, our mouse, and the little black residue the magic mouse leaves for, I don't know what reason, but it does. So we know that lemon is really great for cleaning those things. I've taken gum out of my hair with lemon before because it will just dissolve gum when it's used in its full strength. It can dissolve certain types of paint. Be careful with it if it's used full strength. And it'll get sticky residue off of things. Like when you buy this bottle, what happened? There's a sticker on the bottom. I pulled the sticker off. What was left? Sticky residue. You know how hard that is to get that sticky residue off of there? It's like impossible. So lemon oil, right off. Just put lemon oil on there. I put a drop on there. Let it sit for a minute. Wiped it off with a paper towel. So super easy. So try using lemon oil a few ways. You can use it internally, and that's going to help with that seasonal respiratory discomfort. Okay, you can add it to a spray bottle for cleaning. You can clean all kinds of surfaces, and like I said, even mirrors and windows. Doesn't leave any streaks behind. Great cleaning agent. Stainless steel appliances, really good one for that too. And you can diffuse as well to kind of clean the air and to give an uplifting environment. Interestingly enough, lemon essential oil is one that there's a story a long time ago. Vanderbilt Hospital was diffusing lemon oil in their hospital and found it to be very effective at helping people deal with stress. So just helping them feel better, feel less stressed. So we don't know why the mechanism for that, but it was a big study and it was really interesting. So it's something you guys can try if you're feeling a little bit of stress right now. You can try adding lemon to your diffuser, because it is a pleasant smell. A lot of people like it. Okay, we have a lot of questions about tea tree oil, Melaleuca tea tree oil. So a lot of people wonder about that. Can I take it internally? Am I supposed, at all? Am I supposed to? Because doTERRA's used to be for internal use, and recently they took that label off. I know some doctors have still recommended it for internal use for various conditions, but generally we kind of view it as possibly not. Still waiting for more information on that, but right now they're not labeled for internal use. Tea tree oil does have a lot of uses. So if you guys have been using oils, and I know some of you have for a long time, we know that, they were used by Aborigines in Australia for centuries. They would apply the crushed leaves directly to the skin for a cooling effect. And tea tree oil is known for purification properties. So when we diffuse it, we're using it to purify and freshen the air. And you can try using tea tree oil or Melaleuca oil by adding a few drops to a spray bottle, and you can use it on surfaces for cleansing and purifying. So what I do in my house, just so you know, I have one spray bottle and it has my lemon and water. I usually use that I use it for my mirrors, my windows, stainless steel appliances in my kitchen, the white appliances, things like that. And things that might be greasy, like something like the tile floor and stuff, I'll use lemon. Now I use it with tea tree added to it if I'm going to do things like faucets, because faucets get a lot of gunk growing on it, sometimes even a little bit of mold might try to grow on it. And I'll use it around the faucets in my kitchens and bathrooms because it has more disinfecting type properties. Very cleansing. So just to give you an idea, it's very cleansing, purifying. So you can use it in the diffuser. Some people will use it for, fungal type issues. If fungus grows anywhere, you can use tea tree oil to kill a lot of different funguses, which is nice if you're cleaning showers and things like that. And then we have turmeric. So turmeric is one of our newer oils. Also a really good, I think, I got to make sure I'm allowed to say this. Be careful what I say online because this is I got to be
Oh,
careful.
no.
I'm not non-compliant with doTERRA's rules. So we all know, what turmeric is good for. I think we've seen it a lot on Amazon. You'll see the form of curcuminoids, curcumin, things like that with turmeric, because we know it has a lot of really great beneficial properties to help help the body heal. And that was used, this was a very common oil and a very common substance in its herb form as well in the Ayurvedic practices of India long ago, right? Turmeric root, turmeric oil, they have a super, super long history. And now, people are studying it today to see what other, benefits it has, how it works. And we do know that it's really great for the immune system. You can ingest it. This is one of our ingestible oils. And it has a lot of soothing benefits that promote a positive immune system. So it has a lot of immune boosting qualities, the turmeric oil itself does. And the way we use it is we'll use it internally for antioxidant support and to improve immune response. So that's what a lot of people are interested in right now, right? We want a strong immune response. So we can take it internally. Personally, I wouldn't put that in anything but maybe a spoonful of honey or a veggie cap. That stuff is very strong and a very strange taste. Who here has tasted turmeric oil? Barbara, you have? Okay. Did you find it strong?
It's awful.
I know. Yeah. So I kind of
Right.
recommend veggie cap or a spoonful of honey is the only way I'm taking that.
I do wonder though, I make homemade pickles in the summer, and one of the spices that you have to add is turmeric. And I was wondering if you could substitute the oil for the spice.
Well, remember when you substitute oil for spice, oil is a lot stronger than a spice.
Right.
So always less is more. So if you're doing a jar of pickles, you might think about just using like 1 drop the first time and see how that goes.
Oh, mine makes a lot more than that. It makes several quarts.
Yeah, but you have to be careful. I mean, there are times, and you've probably experienced it with some of the other oils, where we'll take a toothpick and we'll just get a little bit of oil on a toothpick and put it in our, because they're so strong, like oregano perhaps, or cilantro. Some of those are so strong that we need even less than a drop. So keep that in mind when you're making stuff. Because I've tried some different recipes with the oils. And my next task, I'm gonna try cardamom, because cardamom's warming to the body. So I'm gonna try it in some of my some of my baking. I was gonna do that this week because we got all this extra time. I'm not going anywhere, right?
What would you put that
got all this
in,
extra
Jen?
time for baking.
The cardamom, what would you put that in?
Well, cardamom historically has always been in like sweets and baked goods. Anybody here ever used cardamom for cooking? No? Traditionally, I always see it, used in baked goods. So that's why I'm going to use it in baked goods and see what it tastes like, because I actually have no idea. I've never used it for cooking before. So it's something I'm going to try. I'll let you know what happens when I try it, okay? I'll give you my recipes. And then you can diffuse turmeric essential oil as well. Again, if you are going to diffuse turmeric essential oil, probably want to add something else to it, maybe a fruit oil to help with the weird smell, because it is a very strong smell. And I don't know if anybody likes the smell. I haven't talked to anybody who actually likes the smell of turmeric. But it is super beneficial for the immune system. So right now, like I take turmeric every day. I take the dual chamber capsules that doTERRA has, and that's recommended to take every day to boost the immune system. You can like all oils, you can put a drop in your hand. So any of the oils, you can always take a drop in your hand and just enjoy the aromatherapy that way. That's a very quick and easy way to do it if you're not running your diffuser at the time, or you just need to get a blast of an oil, and that will help to improve mood as well. So those are some secrets to using turmeric. Oh,
so just 1 drop?
I can say that. Good. I was wondering if I could say the word inflammation. This is the word I was looking for, and I guess I can because it's here. So yeah, turmeric is well known for fighting inflammation, and that's one of the things when you're sick with anything, inflammation, it can be your enemy. At first it's your friend, but it can quickly become your enemy. You need to bring down inflammation, and so being able to use turmeric to fight that inflammation is great. And most oils tend to be anti-inflammatory anyway, but turmeric is a very, very strong anti-inflammatory.
So just 1 drop in a capsule for now, though?
Just 1 drop, yeah.
Okay.
And remembering, there's a couple things you have to remember about oils that we kind of know as a general rule. 1 drop of essential oil reaches every cell of the human body. The other thing we remember is essential oils metabolize in under 2 hours from the human body. They go through the liver, they metabolize, and then they're gone. So those are the 2 kind of key things to remember. So it doesn't mean you have to use a lot more. You want to use less but more often. if you're trying to
Okay.
use it for a purpose, right? That make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So here we got our rosemary. Rosemary is another one of the ingredients of the On Guard essential oil that everybody's clamoring for right now and using to help protect themselves this season, right? So rosemary, you know, is once considered sacred by a lot of societies. I think the Greeks, the Romans, Egyptians, a lot of different cultures found rosemary to be a sacred oil. So it was used for food. We know rosemary is in a lot of foods, right? And you can use it for food. It's something like the oil. I'll add a drop to some oil, usually that and black pepper, and I'll add it to a little bit of oil and I'll brush it on chicken when I'm cooking. It really changes the flavor. It's really good. It has a lot of benefits because it really helps support a healthy digestion, helps your internal organs function when you take it internally. And it's got more of a like an energizing scent. It's used a lot in aromatherapy. And when you use it in aromatherapy, it also helps mental function. So it can help you concentrate better. It's been shown to have an effect directly on the brain. Taken internally, it also can help reduce nervous tension. So that might be one, Nancy, if you want to try rosemary with Amber. If she's having a lot of tension because of all this, see if that works for her. And then it also helps occasional fatigue. So if you're getting sleepy and you can use some rosemary to kind of lift you up. And
So for Amber, is that a really strong, yucky taste for a 10-year-old or?
Rosemary, I don't know. I don't think so. It's strong, definitely strong, but it's one of our herbs, you know, so like you got rosemary, basil, some of these things that are herbs, and yeah, they're strong. I mean, even the herb itself is kind of strong, right? It is strong, but it is more of something that we're a little bit more familiar with because we've all tasted it before.
Yes.
So I think it's more
put it in
palatable
sauce.
to people. But again, you think it's strong, Barbara?
I put rosemary in my pasta sauce. It's pretty good. And I also put it on, we had a lice scare at my school. A kid had lice. And I looked it up, and I think that was one oil I put on my hair when I took a shower.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's supposed to be good for the, I did not get lice, okay? Whether it prevented it, I don't know, but it smelled pretty good.
Yeah, usually the one that's more recommended for lice is going to be something like tea tree.
Okay.
To help kill the nits as well. But rosemary can also help. Well, rosemary is just an oil that we use a lot for our hair. It's well known for helping stimulate hair growth. So it's used for that as well. So a lot of people do use it. It's in all the hair products because of that. But it's really good for immune support, which is why we see it in On Guard. You can take it. You can take a drop in a cup of water. You can take it in a veggie cap, and again in a teaspoon of honey. It's also a really good way to take anything that you're not sure about.
Okay.
Now, I think one of the most important oils right now with our current situation, everything that's going around, and we know that what is going around is a respiratory illness. So I think we have figured that out right now, right? So we have an oil called Breathe in Canada. It's called Easy Air. And that is a blend of a lot of different oils that are designed to boost the immune system. And these are specifically designed to open up the respiratory pathways. So we all have a respiratory system. Your respiratory system can a lot of times get clogged with mucus, you know, if you're fighting something, or even if you have allergies, it'll get stuck with mucus. And some people struggle with this on a regular basis, right? Daily basis, they're struggling with breathing issues. So interestingly enough, Breathe has been one of the oils that some people are using with, what is it, CPAP machine. They buy a special tube online that so that you can use essential oils with a CPAP, and they'll use Breathe Easy Air in their CPAP machines to help open up the respiratory pathways. So the oils that are in there, you've got the laurel leaf, you've got peppermints, you've got some menthol, you've got eucalyptus, so you have even more menthol, so it's a high menthol content. Melaleuca, tea tree, right? Lemon, cardamom, ravensara, and ravensara. So if you smelled any of those, you know, I think the strongest smell I smell in that is the ravensara. I think that's the one I really pick out of that the most. That's the strongest smell in that to me. And I definitely get a hint of peppermint in it. What do you think, Barbara? Nancy, do you get anything in that? What do you think in it?
I like the smell myself. Everything just combined together smells really good.
It's a nice blend, yep. So
I would-
it'll help. It maintains the feelings of clear airwaves, easy breathing, and minimizing the effects of seasonal threats. So when we're talking about effects, we're talking about symptoms, right? So it can be applied topically to various areas of the body. Typically, what we do is we'll put it in a little bit of carrier oil. We'll put it on the chest. You can put it on the back. You can put it on the bottom of the feet. You can diffuse it at nighttime also, and that'll help.
That's what we've been doing here. Yeah,
Yep.
diffusing it.
too.
And a lot of times I like Breathe because it's one of the ones I can smell right out of the bottle. It's one of the ones I notice in the bottle. It smells the same as out of the bottle. Like some of them, peppermint is definitely stronger if you pour a drop on your hand than out of the bottle. But Breathe is one, if I just open this up, I get the smell right out of the bottle. So I can really smell it that way. And that does a lot of the work, which is nice because I waste a lot less oil that way, right? Because it's smelling it right out of the bottle. So you can diffuse it, inhale it directly, put it on your palms. You can rub it again on your chest and feet. And maybe right now, if you start getting any symptoms during seasonal issues, if you have seasonal allergies or anything like that coming on, you can just start rubbing this on your body. Just put a little bit of carrier oil on it. Now, again, I want to remind you why we use carrier oil. Sometimes we use it because the oil just, if it was applied directly, would hurt, right? That's one reason we use it. Another reason we use it is to help your body to absorb the oils into your body so that a bunch of it doesn't get wasted. Because remember, these are very volatile. When you open a bottle, you are losing a tiny bit of oil to the air around you because they turn from a liquid to a gas like that really fast. We all see that, right? If you ever put a drop of essential oil in your hand, you know within seconds it's not there, right? So when we put it in carrier oil, we're doing that so it absorbs better into the body. So we do have some new evidence that they've figured out about how much gets absorbed, and people have asked me this before, so I'll tell you now. When you put an oil directly on your body, you absorb about 4% of that oil. When you put it on with a carrier oil, you absorb 10%. When you put it on with a carrier oil and then cover it, you can absorb up to 75%. Obviously, probably depending on what you cover it with. So if you cover it with something that's breathable or not breathable. So you could, if you really want to absorb a lot of that oil, you could, put some on and then immediately take a Ziploc bag and push it against your skin to hold that there, right? So there's different ways you can use the oils to drive it into your body, depending how much you want to get into your body. And then, like you said, diffusing it at nighttime is always a really good one. And Copaiba, that was one I just told you about, Nancy, with your daughter. So yes, we found Copaiba to have a lot of interesting qualities. We didn't know when we first got it exactly what it would do. doTERRA had done a lot of research about how Copaiba activates the CB2 receptor, which is the same receptor that that CBD oil activates. So that was really exciting because that meant it did a lot of the things that CBD oil does at a much lower price. And very effectively, and we don't have to worry about it as much because it does, like I said, leave your system very quickly, whereas CBD oil does not. This is from a resin, much like frankincense is also from a resin. So they're, I don't know, they kind of seem similar. When Nancy, when you asked, and your daughter takes the frankincense, and she asked about the Copaiba, it's going to be the same kind of weird taste that frankincense has. It's a mild taste, but it's still weird. And Copaiba is going to be the same way. These trees are unbelievably tall. They're like 100 feet tall. These grow on very, very tall trees, and they are found in tropical South America. That's where these trees grow. And Copaiba essential oil has actually been used by natives in Brazil for a long time, like 400 or 500 years. Very, very long time. Very common there. Taken internally, we know that it supports the health of the cardiovascular, immune, digestive, and nervous systems. It helps support a healthy inflammatory response. It contains the highest level of caryophyllene. And so when it's consumed, the BCP binds to these receptors to aid the healthy immune and inflammatory responses. So I know that sounds scientific and maybe a little confusing, but there's a very specific way that Copaiba works when it is consumed, and it is different than when it's put on the body. So actually taking it internally really helps a lot of our systems, and it should be taken internally if you're trying to get its strongest effects. It influences a lot of our signaling pathways in our body, and that helps our liver It helps the digestive areas, the kidney even, and the heart, and even the brain function. So it's out of all the oils, I think it addresses more of the organs than any other oil that we've seen so far. Again, we're still all just researching oils, right? So we're always learning more. But right now, that is what we're seeing with copaiba. So it has, you know, a lot of influence on key organs of the human body. So usually you can diffuse it. You can diffuse it with Breathe. The copaiba and Breathe are actually a very good combination for respiratory function when diffused together. So you could take like 2 drops of copaiba with 3 drops of Breathe would probably be a really good recipe for your diffusers.
Right.
Yep. You can add it to, of course, water, juice, tea, whatever, and that's to help to support the health of our cardiovascular immune system, our nervous system, our respiratory system. So that's another way you can use it. And like I always said, any of these oils that are internal use, you can put in a spoonful of honey. Remembering Breathe is one that is definitely not internal use. Don't take the Breathe internally. It's not recommended. Now, will it hurt you internally if you accidentally get some in your mouth? No, it's not going to. I saw this on Reddit. Somebody asked, it said, oh my gosh, I accidentally got a drop of this oil that's not for internal use in my mouth. And I was like, it's not going to kill you. It's just not recommended because over time there might be an ingredient in there that is not designed to be ingested. That's all. So,
What about the copaiba capsules they sell in the US? Do they do the same effect as this?
the copaiba capsules?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a way for internal use so that they're already encapsulated for us. It's just for us to be lazy. It is a lot cheaper to use the oil not encapsulated. That encapsulation process
Absolutely.
is very expensive. So a lot of us, like Barbara, you probably do the same thing. I use the oil. I'm not going to pay all that extra money for capsules.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
just,
Jenny had me
I'm lazy, but not that lazy.
Jenny, you had me put it under my tongue for a headache, you know, and it really helps. I mean, I have to do it every so often because it doesn't take it away completely, but from
Now
instead
remember,
of taking,
copaiba is one of the oils that you can use more. So I use it, and I have to be careful with how I say this, for head tension. And when
Oh.
my head tension is really, really bad, it can take like 8 drops of copaiba, and unfortunately, it does go away after about 2 hours, and I have to do it all over again. Because if the cause is still there and the problem is still there and you're still hurting, then you're going to take it again because it is metabolized so quickly. But it does really work.
But I can, instead of
Phenomenal
using
well.
2 over-the-counter things that I would buy at Walmart, I don't have to take as much when I use the copaiba.
And that's good. You know, anytime we can reduce the use of medicinal drugs and substitute oils, or even go along with oils, so we can reduce. You know, there's different ways you can do it. Obviously, that's a great way to do it, and find other solutions. And like we talked about, copaiba is really great for stress. That's another thing that we found with copaiba. It was kind of a surprise. We didn't know that. But it does have a lot of other benefits. In fact, we have found a lot of benefits with copaiba that we are just still learning and finding out about. So if you want to learn more about copaiba oil, go online and search up copaiba essential oil, and you know they can say stuff that I'm not allowed to say on a public format like that. We also look up things in our books. Like there's a lot of books if you want to learn more about essential oils. There's the Essential Life book you can pick up online somewhere. I see it all over the place, like on Amazon. Modern Essentials people like. So here's the difference here. Modern Essentials, if you like science, you like data, and you're a logical thinker. This one, you're more of a emotional thinker.
That's the one I got here. I love it.
This one, if you're a millennial and you have a attention span of 8 seconds, okay? This is Oil Magic. This is for the millennials who have a short attention span, okay? So those are some of the books you can use to utilize your oils. Hey, you know it's true, right? Okay, here's our powerhouse. This is oregano.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. A lot of people will add oregano to On Guard if they're trying to fight off certain things, because oregano is really, really strong. And it is, gosh, it is a hot oil. Do not ever put a drop of this in your mouth. It needs to be in a capsule or in a full teaspoon of honey. You can try drinking it in a cup of water, but you will definitely taste it, and it will still taste hot. Okay, so be very, very careful when you're using oregano. Do not get it in your eyes. It will hurt. it's primarily a chemical compound. Remember, these are natural chemicals. That's what essential oils are. They are natural chemicals. No vitamins, no minerals, no calories. It's just a pure natural chemical. So the chemical component of oregano is primarily carvacrol. And that's a phenol that has a really high antioxidant properties when ingested. So another one of our really, really high antioxidants. And because of its high phenol content, you do have to be very careful if you're inhaling it, you're diffusing it. You don't need much, guys, when you're using this. We only use a drop at a time. If you use it in a recipe, get out that toothpick.
Yep.
Get out your here's my oregano right here. Get out your toothpick, stick your little toothpick in there and just get a tiny, tiny bit on your toothpick. That's how you use it in recipes. I'm actually using this right now to remove a wart. So oregano has been proven to be very helpful when you're trying to remove warts. It works for some people, doesn't work for all people, probably because all warts are different. I don't know. But it is very, very hot when you put it on the skin. You want to be careful not to get it on your skin. I've had friends actually remove skin tags with this too. Really good for that. That was a good one.
Yes.
And so if you take 1 drop of oregano, that will help with your immune function. It can be taken more frequently if you're trying to support the immune system. So what I always tell people is, if you want to use oils kind of not every couple hours, because we know they metabolize in 2 hours, right? But you can use oils throughout the day, different oils, whatever, and that's going to help boost that immune system. If you feel the effects and you feel like your immune system is being taxed, like you've been attacked, then you want to start using your oils more often to give it a further boost, right? So with oregano, a lot of experts will tell you oregano should not be consumed all the time. So when you're consuming it, you're doing it for a specific purpose. You want to build your immunities, or you're trying to fight something. So you want to keep your immune system really strong, but then stop taking it for a while internally. So when you're doing internal use, we try not to use it more than 2 weeks in a row internally. Back off of it and then come back on. It's just really, really strong. So the way we do it, usually a veggie cap, I'm going to say that is really the best way to do this. Or in a spoonful of honey if you can't swallow pills, or if it's a younger person. Also remember, if you're using with younger people, a much smaller amount. 1 drop is an adult dose, okay? When we're using it with younger, smaller people, we use less than a drop, which means you got to break that up somehow, or put it in a little bit of carrier oil so you can divide it up better, okay? You can also put it in spray bottle for surface cleaner. I enjoyed oregano for that purpose. So the first time I used oregano was actually, other than the one time I stuck it in my mouth and was in pain for 15 minutes. Besides that time, I used it in a spray bottle with water because I kept getting mold in my shower. And every couple weeks I'd go in there, I'd bleach out the mold, it would go away. 2 weeks later, it came back. And it just happened over and over again. It's like, okay, this is stupid. There's got to be something natural I can do. And so I went online and I found that oregano really effective for removing mold spores. So I did that with the oregano, and my mold did not come back for about 4 months. So that was great. So it helps kill those spores. Okay, now we've got On Guard. There's our powerhouse. So let's go to On Guard, where we are. On Guard. So how many people got On Guard this month? Yep. How many people are using On Guard this month? Okay, so I use On Guard in every form possible. The soft gels, of course, are out. Nobody has them. Nope. So those are gone. And that's what I gave my soft gels to my parents because it's too hard for them to manage the oils. I kept the oil for myself. I'm using the beadlets. I give the beadlets to my kids because they find them much more palatable.
Oils.
You're listening to essential oil thing?
Okay. On Guard is a blend of some of the oils we were discussing. So On Guard is cinnamon, clove, 2 very hot oils, rosemary, eucalyptus, and wild orange. That is what is in the On Guard oil. If you get it in its other forms, like the On Guard capsule contains 3 other ingredients. I think copaiba is one too, isn't it? Copaiba, melissa, and I forget what the other one is in the On Guard soft gels, but that's kind of a non-issue because we can't get those till mid-April because they're out. As soon as this hit, everybody went and bought all the On Guard soft gels, so those are gone. So we're using the On Guard oil. And you can use it many, many different ways. We know that it is one of the best, I'm going to say the best oil overall for the immune system. Doctors have sworn by it. People at Johns Hopkins swear by it. Say it's a great product. It does a lot of our, killing of bacteria and germs that we're trying to get rid of, right? We know that it's a really good immune system booster. It can be taken daily. It can be taken every 2 hours. It'll help support healthy cardiovascular function. And one of the things we like about On Guard is when you add it to water, you can use it to clean and disinfect surfaces. So get it on your doorknobs, on your sinks, you know, anything you touch regularly. I put it in a spray bottle because I wanted to be able to spray some things I didn't want to get soaking wet. So I spray routinely, like right now I'm spraying my mouse, my keyboard, my phone. Got to spray that phone because I touch this all the time, right? So I'm spraying my phone, remote control, the toilet flusher thingy. What's that called? The handle on the toilet. It's got to be called something. I have no idea what it's called. Anyway, I spray that regularly. And the refrigerator door, that's one. We all touch the refrigerator door constantly. So I made sure that gets sprayed all the time. And that's, you know, to clean it. So when you don't have, you know, a lot of soap and water around, or you're trying to really do a good disinfecting type of cleaning, you can use On Guard. You can add it in veggie capsules. You can take it directly. I'm okay taking On Guard under my tongue, and then I'll just chase it down with some water. So it doesn't like sit on my tongue, but under my tongue. And then I drink the water and it kind of just gets in my mouth and down my throat really quickly. That is the best way for me. With younger children, don't do that. It's too strong for them. They need to take it in a spoonful of honey or a glass of water. It does taste pleasant in a glass of water. So that's a good way to take it as well. And you know that it is used a lot in, it's used in our hand sanitizer. So you know that doTERRA makes a hand sanitizer with their On Guard, which works really great. And I heard that that's coming back in this week because I know they ran out when all this started, and it's coming back this week. So hopefully we'll be able to get some if you need some. Some people also do some fun things with On Guard. So you can soak apple slices in water and a few drops to make a really good immune boosting snack. So that's a good way to get kids to get On Guard. And you can combine it with the fractionated coconut oil for a natural hand cleaner, or if you went and got the On Guard Touch, you know, the touch versions we have, then, you know, during this time, if you want to help sanitize, roll it over your hands, rub your hands together and get that all over your hands. And that'll help clean up there if you don't have like hand sanitizer spray with you or something else to use.
Jenny, excuse me, with the On Guard roller, is that a good thing to put on your feet and then put socks on like at night or before you go to work?
That would be great. Yeah.
Okay,
That's a great
I
idea.
had done that, but then when I didn't really think about it, I thought, oh, I wonder if that's okay to do that, but I guess it is then.
Yeah, it is, because it'll
Yeah.
drive more of the On Guard into your system by putting the
Mhm.
socks on. So you should put the socks on immediately afterwards, and especially if you're using it on children, because you want them to get the immune benefits, but a lot of kids are too young to really take this internally. So we need it to be driven in through their skin. So the best way with young children is we'll put it on the bottom of their feet and then put the socks on. That'll help drive the oil into their body so they get the benefits of the oil and without any discomfort, especially with infants. So
I
that's
even
really
made a
great.
cleaning solution with the On Guard and vodka, not to drink, I mean to clean with.
It probably tastes good though.
No, I guess it would. I don't drink, but
Yep.
it cleans super great. It's great for that.
Yeah, and that would. And a lot of people who are making hand sanitizer sprays right now are making their own. And a lot of stores are out of the aloe vera gel that we usually put in it. And I actually heard somebody who did it with the aloe vera gel and said, oh, it was my mom. She went on a flight. She sprayed it on the window and she said, yeah, the aloe vera gel, these little tiny clumps. So she sprayed the window and then there were little tiny clumps all over the window from the aloe gel that she did. So maybe you don't need that. And you know, there's liquid aloe out there too. Like the consumable aloe vera out there. And if you have aloe vera plants, you can actually make it with your own plants. Add a little bit of aloe vera gel, On Guard, and then some alcohol. Because one of the first things I did, we don't drink in my house, so we have no alcohol here, but when this all hit, first thing I did was I went and bought a bottle of vodka, just plain vodka, because we need to disinfect or treat anything, I want to have some alcohol on hand. So I made sure to get a nice cheap one over at Trader Joe's. So it's just it for that kind of situation that might occur. It's a good thing to have around sometimes. And then steaming. So steaming is another way we can use essential oils. And has anybody done any steaming with essential oils here?
No.
Anybody know? Okay, so some of the things we can do when we're steaming, basically we know that sometimes when we're feeling under the weather, a good steam feels great, right? And so, you basically use a towel. You can create your own personal sauna using a towel, right? And so if you're like congested, grab a bottle of peppermint or eucalyptus, breathe, oregano, tea tree, and then start some boiling water, right? Grab a large towel, add the water to sink or, something big, a basin, along with your drop, just 1 drop of the oil. You only need 1 drop to do this. So don't think you need 10 drops. You just need 1, save your money. Then lean over the bowl so the steam is kind of in your face, and you put a towel around your head and give yourself a good steam. It's really good for your pores too. So there's, but it can be really strong. So you really only need 1 drop of the oils that you choose to use. So that's another fun thing we do with essential oils. We know a lot about ingesting oils. There's different oils that you can ingest. Almost all of the doTERRA oils are ingestible. That's what's unique about doTERRA, which is nice. And remember, it takes so little. A lot of times people say, hey, these are really expensive oils. And it's like, yeah, it would be if you had to use as much as you do as other oils. So like if I go to the store and I buy Now brand oils, I'm going to have to use 10 or 15 drops to get the same effect as 1 drop of doTERRA. So I'm actually saving a lot of money with their doTERRA. It's just that I'm spending that money up front because I'm buying a whole bottle, right? So recognize when you use them effectively, then you only need to use a drop or 2. When you put them on your skin and you seal that in there so more gets driven into your body, that means you get to use less oil, right? So you don't have to use as much as you think. Veggie capsules again, diffusing, all the different ways we use them. And make sure, when you use an oil, make sure it can be internal. So on Breathe, you notice that it says Breathe Respiratory Blend, and on it, it says, and this is Easy Air in Canada, it says aromatic or topical use. So that's telling you aromatic or topical only. When you get something like oregano, it's going to have supplemental effects. Why? Because we can take it internally. If you are in Canada, check the website, because some of the Canadian oils are not allowed to be listed as internal use when in fact we in the United States use them internally. So you can use them internally. It's just that it's something with Health Canada. They haven't just approved it yet. It'll probably get there someday. And they are doing the oils. I see them coming little by little because I've seen more and more that are approved by National Health Products. They have the NHP label on them. But if you're confused and you're not sure and you're living in Canada, just check the doTERRA.com US website and then look up the oil that way, because that'll tell you if you are allowed to take it internally. Because it is the same batch. That's the question that somebody asked me once. Is it different? And it's not. It's the same batch of oil. It's just labeled differently for the Canadian market. Okay. So one of the other things I want to do, the single oils that we don't ingest are, so here's the ones you don't ingest in case you wanted to know. They're Arbor Vitae, Blue Tansy, although I have licked that one before, cedarwood, cypress, Douglas fir, eucalyptus, spikenard, and wintergreen. So you can tell these are, kind of your tree oils. Those are obvious, right? Cedarwood, cypress, Douglas fir, eucalyptus, kind of your tree. Arbor Vitae is a tree oil as well. Wintergreen. And wintergreen is probably the biggest problem, because if you ingest wintergreen too much, you can actually get very sick, especially if you're on certain medications. So wintergreen is one of the ones you have to be careful of. I believe it's contraindicated for certain medications. So if you're taking some medications from the doctor, make sure you're able to use wintergreen. Okay.
So what, by saying that, you're saying we shouldn't even diffuse them?
If you are on certain meds, you shouldn't even diffuse wintergreen.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I don't remember what it was. I'll have to look it up again. Was it, I'm thinking it was heart meds, but I'm not sure. I can look it up if you're concerned about it. You shouldn't diffuse it. If you do it on a low level, it's fine. And it's in things like the Deep Blue, which is fine. And you can use the Deep Blue rub even if you're on that medicine, but something about inhaling the wintergreen when you're on a certain medication. I can't remember. I thought it was heart meds.
If you do get a chance, though, and if you'd be able to send me a list of the ones that we shouldn't diffuse, that would be helpful.
For which ones? For what med?
For any of the oils that you're saying that we should probably not diffuse or ingest. Like,
Yeah,
did you not say peppermint?
No, wintergreen is the only one. So it's wintergreen
Okay,
to be careful of if you're taking a certain medication.
Okay, gotcha.
It's wintergreen. Yeah, there's other ones that you shouldn't ingest if you're on certain medications, but when you're diffusing it, everything's safe to diffuse except wintergreen is really it is contraindicated. It's not a good idea. We haven't seen any problems, but better safe than sorry, right?
Absolutely.
We don't want to have a problem.
Popcorn.
And then let's see, where were we at? We were at here, how to diffuse a room. So there's that Lumo diffuser, and there's some of the oils that we use. Whoops, where'd that go? Sorry, I just went to the next slide. Okay, there we go. So when we're diffusing our oils, you've all probably diffused oils before. And, when you have a lot of germs and stuff in the air, the best thing you can do is really use essential oils to cleanse the air, right? That's what we're trying to do,
Yep.
keep the air clean. We know that we've heard studies where people have used, teachers in classrooms have used On Guard in classrooms, and they see a lower absence rate in classrooms where On Guard is used on a regular basis. So what they do is usually during what we call our flu and cold season, right? Which is, 6 months of the year, they're diffusing On Guard in the classrooms, and they find that is super effective in the schools. So remember that, because in your own homes, you can do the same thing, obviously. It works, diffusers always work better in smaller areas. So, offices, bathrooms, you should have, like, we run a diffuser in all of our bathrooms. And I generally run On Guard in the bathroom because that's where the germs are, so it just makes sense. So I run On Guard in the bathrooms, whereas I might not run it throughout my whole house, because I don't want my whole house to smell like On Guard all the time. That gets kind of boring, right? But I do run it in my bathrooms. And when you're diffusing, you want to close the door in the room you're diffusing for maximum effect. So, it doesn't make sense to diffuse in a room and then open all the windows, because, a lot of it's going to leave. Although, I do, because I have my windows open a lot. And I just keep the diffuser really close to me, so I am getting the benefits of the oils because I'm smelling them, because they're passing by my face, obviously, on the way to the window. So you can use that way, but it just makes sense, obviously. Smaller room. This one, I noticed, this Lumo diffuser that doTERRA has, that does a 540 square foot. I noticed that the Petal diffuser is rated at 330, and I think also the Volo diffusers are rated at 330, if I remember correctly. So, depending what area you're doing is going to depend what diffuser you want. And I do like that all the diffusers have found a way to make it so that you don't waste money by offering a lower setting or an intermittent setting. So the Lumo diffuser does intermittent 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, because you don't need to have the oil constantly in the air to get the benefits constantly, because they do take time to metabolize into your system. So that saves you money on oils. And I think the Volo does like a low output setting. So you can set it to a lower output if you'd like. And the Petal also has intermittent. So those give you some options. Creating surface cleaners. So we've probably all done some of this. I know Barbara probably has. I do a lot of surface cleaners. So I have several spray bottles in my house of my basic cleaners. And I already discussed a lot of them. And it's great because kids can make these. You don't have to get out your surgical gloves to make these oils. It's okay if they get on your hands. So we can, our children love to make these oils. Sometimes, like, they get creative. They can make an oil, put it in a spray bottle, and then they get out their Sharpie in different colors and make little designs on it and name it, whatever. So you can name it whatever you want. Get creative with this. This can be fun. So you can do your crud cleaner for your really sticky, gooey stuff, and do that with like a lot of lemon. You do with your bacteria beater or something, name them whatever you want so that you remember what they are, and maybe even write on them, what your dilution is. Traditionally, I like 30 drops for every 8 ounces when I'm using oils, doTERRA oils anyway. But that's a really inexpensive way to make really non-toxic cleaners. It's cheaper than buying anything at the store. And we can get those little spray bottles that you get them at Home Depot if you want to do the 32-ounce ones, do a really big, massive one. And people have asked me before, when you're using essential oils, you've seen essential oils are usually in glass, right? And that's because essential oils will, especially if they're stronger, will eat at the surfaces of plastic. But if you're using essential oils and you're only using 30 drops for like 8 ounces or 30 drops for 16 ounces, that is not going to substantially eat at the surfaces of the container. My containers seem to last like forever with those. But if you're using a higher concentration, you've got to go to glass. So if you're going to use stronger oils, and because a lot of us will do 50-50 blends with oils and carrier oil or oils and water. And if you are going to do that strong a blend, you've got to put it in glass. And if you're looking for larger glass bottles, like big spray bottles in glass, in the States, we get them at aromatools.com. A lot of my Canadians order from there as well. It's kind of expensive in shipping, but they do have some wonderful products. So again, that name, aromatools.com, has tons of supplies. So does Oil Life. Where else do we usually go to? Aromatools, Oil Life. There's another one, I can't remember it.
I like Amazon myself.
And Amazon is always an option, although Amazon's taking a month to get your deliveries to you now, so maybe not right now.
Even with Prime.
Yep, even with Prime.
I've got everything.
They
every
announced
day
it this
week.
morning.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So, you know, think about it. You've got Amazon. They have a giant warehouse. This warehouse, I know people who've worked at Amazon. It is like back-to-back, wall-to-wall people in there. And now that we've got to do the social distancing, they can't fulfill the orders fast enough. They can't do it. They physically can't do it. Right? So that's why we're seeing that.
Maybe if I talk to him.
So yeah, if you order from Amazon, expect it to take a really long time, unless it's something essential. They're putting, you know, a rush on orders. They're doing the fulfilling orders first that have things in it that they consider essential right now with the current epidemic. Okay. And so some of the ingredients in some of the things that we like, so using white vinegar. So maybe put a 1/4 cup white vinegar, 1 3/4 cups water, and then 30 drops of doTERRA oils. A lot of people like to put vinegar in their blends like that, in their spray bottles. I personally don't like it. I don't like vinegar, but a lot of people really like vinegar. And you know, we know vinegar has a lot of properties itself that are really good for cleaning. The recommended oil combinations are lavender and lemon, or eucalyptus, peppermint, and wild orange. Just On Guard, because it's already blended, obviously. And or you can do 15 drops each of grapefruit and On Guard. And if you just add those to, you know, like a 16-ounce spray bottle, shake it, then you can spritz it on your surfaces and wipe it clean. So that's something that we're finding very useful, especially now when we're trying to be a little bit cleaner. And hey, a lot of us have a lot of extra time to clean, right? Because we're stuck at home and we have nowhere to go. So we've got all this extra time to clean our house. So remember, we have some hazards. And we got to keep these hazards in mind as we're using the oils. Some of the oils, excuse me, I got to plug in my computer. It came unplugged and it's going to go dead here. Okay, so some oils can cause irritation of the skin or your mucous membranes, especially on infants, young children, older adults. So remember who you're putting the oils on. Remember, oils were the way we designed them and the way we talk about them is usually with your average person who is between, you know, 8 and 70 years old. But if you have an older person, they're going to have, you know, that weaker skin. You have to be aware of that. Younger children and people that are just sensitive, that have sensitive skin, you've got to remember to be a little bit more careful with them. And so remembering when you are more careful, that just means adding more carrier oil. It doesn't hurt to add more carrier oil. So if I'm putting a drop of oil on my body, whether that drop is in a cup of oil, a teaspoon of oil, or a drop of oil, really makes no difference in how much gets absorbed, because there's a drop of essential oil in that oil that is going to get into my skin eventually, right? It's just immersed in that oil. So there's not a substantial difference.
Can you shut the window there?
When you use more carrier oil. Remember also that many essential oils can be dangerous to certain pets, especially cats. The essential oils generally with dogs is considered generally safe. Remembering again their body size. That's what's the importance. You do not want to take your little toy poodle and try to put our blends on them because they are tiny. So you want to be very careful with those. This is for internal use. Internal use, you should always get some expert advice if you're using internal oils with a pet. Okay, make sure you got expert advice. If you're using topically, you can make some blends that might have something like frankincense, On Guard, lavender. Those are some good things to put on in a blend if you're trying to just, for pets that get cuts and scrapes, because that happens, everybody gets cut and scrapes. And we know that those things help tremendously. Try to avoid using tea tree oil with animals. Unless you're working with a vet or an expert that knows, you know, how to use those with animals. And when you're diffusing essential oils, there's been no evidence that diffusing essential oils, unless you were to lock your kitty cat in a little tiny bathroom with a diffuser going full blast, you shouldn't have a problem using with oils with cats around. And Barbara, I know you have cats around and you diffuse oils all the time and have had no issues for years.
I just make sure that there's a door that the cat can get out.
Right.
I won't diffuse in a room with the cat and close the door. If she wants to leave, she can leave, and she's fine.
Yeah, and that's something you have to remember. You just, as long as the pet can get out. It's used a lot with horses too. Horses are a big one. Essential oils. Copaiba is being used a lot with pets. I use the Copaiba with my dog because he has joint issues, and so a lot of pain. And so I use Copaiba with him, and that works really well. They use Copaiba with horses also for pain issues, especially joint issues. So those are some things to keep in mind. You can also use them for your pets that get stressed and get anxious feelings and stuff like that. You can use Copaiba for them as well. See. on here. Oh, immune boosting pet. So here we're going to go into our recipes really quickly, and then I'm going to finish this up. So let me finish this up with you. I've got a recipe here. So if you want to write this down, this is an immune boosting pancake. So we want to keep our immune systems boosted right now. Everybody's worried. We don't want to get ill, and nobody wants to get sick anyway. Who wants colds or flus? We don't want them. So let's find a way to boost our immune system when those pets are high, and that would be kind of now, right? So let's find some recipes that'll really help us out. So this is a really great pancake recipe. You want 2 ripe bananas, 1 cup of oatmeal, 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup brown sugar, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 3/4 cup plain Greek yogurt, 3/4 cup milk, 2 eggs, a teaspoon vanilla, 1 drop of cinnamon bark oil, 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, optional of course. And then you want 1/4 cup of, you can use like canola oil. I don't, this recipe says canola oil. I actually don't use canola oil. I don't like it. I think it has some properties I don't want to see in oils. It's any recipe oil that you would use would be fine for that. We tend to use things like, we use avocado oil a lot, we use safflower oil, things like that I find are a little bit better. And then 2 to 4 drops of On Guard to taste. I would caution you on this. I would start with 1 to 2 drops, honestly. It is a really strong taste. So you want to mash those bananas, of course, first. I mean, mix in the yogurt, the eggs, the milk, the oil, your vanilla, and the doTERRA On Guard. And then you're going to add oatmeal, flour, brown sugar, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, and walnuts. So that's all your dry goods. So add all your dry stuff and mix those. And then you want to add the 2 mixes together. And then, of course, cook just the way you cook pancakes. We all know how to do that, so you know how to do that, right? I don't need to give you that recipe. You all know how to cook pancakes. Okay, so try that recipe, and if anybody here tries it, let me know how it tastes. I'm going to give it a shot here if my girls will help me with it. I'll probably do it here and see what we think of it. But that should be a nice, subtle cinnamon taste, a slight On Guard taste, and it shouldn't taste medicinal. It just gives you the benefits of some of the On Guard there. Now we're going to talk about some of the, and I'm just about done here. We're going to talk about some of the On Guard things. So this is the On Guard line of products that doTERRA has. There's a lot of different products that doTERRA offers in the On Guard because we know that it is so great for the immune system, and that's what we're all about, right? Where did it go? Oh, yes. Okay.
Like this. Okay.
So you've seen all the different things. So we know that we have the pure oil. We have the mouthwash. Who here tried the mouthwash?
I have mouthwash.
I love the mouthwash. I actually brush my teeth with the mouthwash a lot of times instead of the toothpaste. I think it does a better job. It makes my teeth feel really silky smooth when I'm done. So I really like
I use it
changed.
I think they changed what's in the toothpaste. It tastes different.
Yeah, they so what they did is it's less cinnamony.
Yes.
And
yes.
I missed that. So I went and bought those little 2-ounce ones that they were selling. Those are the old ones, and they have the cinnamon taste. So I bought 150 of those because I really like the old one, and they weren't any more expensive. So they were $2 each, and the tube is $8 and something. So, and it's 4 times the size. So I figured they're the same price basically. So I bought a whole bunch of them because I love that cinnamon taste. But that's what's missing. They took out some of the cinnamon on the toothpaste, and I do miss it. Mouthwash I really love. Like I said, I use it sometimes for toothpaste. The soft gels, which are out right now, but they'll come back in next month. Those are really good because they've added Melissa, Copaiba, and I don't know what the other ingredient, but I think there's another ingredient they added to it to make it even more immune boosting than just the oil. So that's really good, but it is a lot more expensive than using the oil. So most of us just like to stick with the oil.
Is this the On Guard soft gels you're mentioning?
Soft gels. Yeah, they actually have different ingredients in each of these products. I don't know if you realize that. They do. Yep. And the On Guard Touch, which is with the fractionated coconut oil, and that's all it is. It's the On Guard already pre-mixed for you, so you can carry it around in your easy-to-use version that you can just roll on, baby's feet even. So I like when I use it on the dogs, I'll always use the touch on the dogs. I never use the pure oil on my pets. We've got the beadlets, and I don't know if anybody's here doesn't know what the beadlets are, but the beadlets are nice because you can just pop these little itty bitty beadlets in your mouth, and it's so much easier for younger children who can't swallow pills. You can pop them open in your mouth if you desire. I don't know if I can show you what they look like. These are my beadlets, and I keep them by my bed because I take about 4 at a time because each beadlet is a quarter drop, and they are this small. Can you guys see that? They are tiny, tiny, tiny little beadlets. And they got a quarter
My
drop.
little one could take those, right?
What?
Amber's 10 years old. She could take the beadlets?
Yes, she could, and she should take 4 at a time. Which
4 at a
means
time?
drop of oil. So 4 at a time, every 2 hours, ideally for immune support, or of course if she's fighting something, if she feels like she might be fighting something, you want to start
Okay.
those immediately. Okay, but you might find those much easier to use. And at 4 beadlets at a time, there's 125 beadlets in here, so it'll get you through. And now those are only available in the U.S. warehouse, so Canadians can order it through the U.S. warehouse on their accounts, because you can order from the U.S. warehouse. So when you order those, get those on the U.S. warehouse because they're not
Yeah.
available.
Jenny, are they out of those right now? I sort of saw something about the beadlet.
Yeah, beadlets, because they're encapsulated, they're going to be out of them for a little while.
I thought so.
Yeah, so we probably will see those mid-April when the other stuff comes in. So right now, they probably don't have the beadlets. They might, they were out in Canada. I could have sworn they had a little bit more in Canada than we had available in the U.S. So there's a little bit more product available in Canada still. So you can check in Canada and see if we in the U.S. don't get to order from Canada. It doesn't work both ways. So unfortunately, you get to order both warehouses. We do not. And they have the hand sanitizing mist, which I was told was going to be out again this week because they ran out, and now they're bringing it back in. And that is something they were able to get back really quickly. And of course, you know, with what's going on, they're making sure they get that back fast because they know everybody wants it. There'll probably be a limit per order though. Then they got the On Guard hand wash. I don't know if you guys have used that. That's that foaming hand wash. I've diluted mine a little bit. I didn't need to use it full strength. I thought it was pretty strong, and so I diluted mine a little bit. But I think it's a great hand wash, and it's certainly better than any of those toxic soaps out there. Remembering that most of the antibacterial things out there contain triclosan, which is a really toxic ingredient. We all try to avoid that, so we're using these things instead. They have the toothpaste, which Barbara already talked about, and their toothpaste is actually very inexpensive because you only use about a pea-sized amount. You shouldn't need to use more than that of their toothpaste at a time when you're brushing your teeth. It doesn't have any of the fillers that store brands would have in it, and it is all natural. It is fluoride free. It is not for pets. It contains xylitol, which for humans is great for dentists love it. It's a nice natural substance, but it doesn't metabolize well for any pets, including dogs. Do not let your dogs use that toothpaste. Okay. We have the cleaner concentrate, and I know Barbara uses cleaner concentrate a lot. Great stain remover when it's used full strength. Great for cleaning. I use it to mop my floors. We actually use ours for dish soap. So you notice doTERRA does not have a dish soap. We use their cleaner concentrate for our dish soap. We find it very
Really? I just ordered 7 bottles of it.
It's good stuff. You're gonna love it. So we use it.
I've been using it for a while. I love it. You don't need a lot of it either.
No, we just use a few drops. When we do dishes, we take a few drops, put it in a bowl of water, and we just use that to do all of our dinner dishes. So you can do that. You can also use the laundry detergent to do dishes with. Again, these are all concentrates. Everything doTERRA makes is a really strong concentrate, so make sure that you dilute them when you use them. Laundry detergent, another really great product. I love the way it cleans the laundry. And again, you're not using much of it. Make sure you read the directions. It is not a capful. It's like a quarter of a capful per load. That's what you're supposed to use. So don't be tempted to use the whole capful. You don't need extra. We've got the throat drops. Those are available, I think, in the U.S. warehouse only. Those are the protecting throat drops. Those are On Guard as well. And then, they listed dental floss. Did they bring back the dental floss as a regular item? I didn't see it. Anybody see it?
Nope.
Interesting, because I know that's come in and out a couple times. So keep your eye out for the dental floss. Maybe that'll show up again.
Almost done.
Kind of cool. I like the dental floss. Okay, here I got another recipe for you guys. So remember what I said right now? They're advising people to make sure to drink warm liquids routinely. Every 20 minutes. That's come out on several sources to help prevent the spread of the current viruses that are out there because it is respiratory. They believe that that will prevent it from getting into your system.
This is
So you
C2.
should be sipping on something warm. So whether that be tea, coffee, you're sipping all day, a little bit of soup, cocoa. So here is a great tea. This is a warming tea. So this might be really good for people who live in colder climates, because you also want to keep your immune system strong, which means you want to stay away from all that cold stuff. Let's see, we're talking about, says curcumin is used in India for a lot of health concerns, right? So a lot of people know what curcumin is. Everybody here knows what curcumin is, right? From the turmeric.
Mhm.
It's really hard sometimes for the body to absorb curcumin. So that's why, again, when we want to use the oil instead of the spice, it's because the turmerons in the oil increases your body absorption. So that's why when you're wondering, why am I using doTERRA's turmeric oil, or why am I using doTERRA's turmeric dual chamber capsules instead of the herb? Because the herb is out there in the form of curcumin, right? And usually with black pepper. And the reason why is because it's more absorbable when you add the oil to it, or use the oil instead, because that is a more absorbable form by the human body. So we have this coconut milk tea. It's all about the turmeric oil, and it gives it a little bit of the herbal flavor, and it gets you some of your turmeric internally. So you can make this with a cup of coconut milk, a cup of water, a tablespoon of honey, a tablespoon of butter or ghee. You know, ghee is, right? It's just another form of butter. Then add 1 to 2 drops of turmeric oil. And then if you want, you can take a little bit of turmeric spice and put it on the top for a garnish. And that way you're getting the oil and the spice. The oil will help your body to absorb the spice. So heat the coconut milk and water in a saucepan on low, right, for a few minutes. Then add your butter, honey, and the turmeric essential oil. And then stir it until that butter melts and the ingredients are all combined. Just pour in a mug, throw some, if you want, you know, add a little bit of stuff on top, some turmeric powder as an optional garnish on top. Or you can, if you're like me, you're probably going to throw in some marshmallows, because you can't have hot cocoa without marshmallows. That's just wrong. So I'm going to do that probably, even though I know I probably should avoid sugar as much as possible right now. I'm not that worried about it. But you're really trying to boost your immune system. If you are ill, you know you want to keep your sugar intake low. But if you aren't ill and you need a little bit of sugar to spice it up, you know, a little bit's not going to hurt you, right? I'm hoping. Okay. Here's our king of oils, our frankincense. So I wanted to let you know, some of the references I use for this event. And if you need any references, if you ever go to my events and you want to find out where I'm getting my information from, just ask me. I'll let you know where I got my references from. A lot of this came from the doTERRA website. Some of it came from Medical News Today, did an article on essential oils for the flu. Mind Body Green did a little article on diffusing in room. doTERRA has all kinds of recipes and things for their cleaning sprays. The immune boosting pancakes came from doTERRA, and the On Guard product line, of course, from doTERRA. So that's some of the sources. I've noticed Medical News Today is coming out with more and more information on essential oils. I'm very pleased, because it does give us some medical background here to help people understand the oils. And if anybody needs my help with anything, if you're trying to solve a problem, and you want specific ideas with essential oils, I have been trained by Josh Axe. I was trained by Dr. Josh Axe, and I got my certification to be an essential oil coach. I also just recently completed doTERRA's essential oil training class to help you, learn to use the oils, and we have lots of resources to look things up. So please reach out to me if you need anything. Any questions?
What are you looking at, Amber?
Any questions before we go?
Yes, Jenny, I wanted to ask you about the Arbor Vitae, okay?
Uh-huh.
To me, that smells like furniture polish.
Interesting, because you know why? Because Arbor Vitae, it's a wood oil, and it was originally used to preserve wood. Arbor Vitae actually preserves wood very well, which makes a tree a very strong tree. It's a good oil.
I would never want to diffuse it, because to me it just stinks.
And that's why when you find an oil that stinks when you diffuse it, that's when you add a citrus oil, because there's a lot of these oils that I don't really like the smell of. I know they're good for me, but I'm not really fond of the smell. And I add a citrus oil to kind of, make it more tolerable for that smell. But that's only if you need it. So if Arbor Vitae is something you don't need for anything, then you might not need to diffuse it anyway. it's specifically used for various things. So look up arborvitae and see if it's even something you
I
use.
did.
It's not one I use regularly either. It's not one of my go-tos. And if you are not a member of doTERRA, I should put this out there. If you're not a member of doTERRA and you decide to become a member, contact me. I'm in Diamond Club right now. If you sign up with me right now, you get an extra free oil because I'm in Diamond Club. And so I'm doing events. I'm doing events all week with different subject matter in it. I want to make sure people are educated about oils. I have lots of resources to share. So if you're on my team or you're thinking about joining doTERRA, if you want more information, reach out to me. I have things like I have the 150 uses for using the essential oils on my Healthy Body Hidden Show website. I have ebooks to share with you, and the Oil Magic ebook to share with people who are joining. And doTERRA has a podcast that you can also watch, which is really, or listen to, which is really interesting. Just do doTERRA podcast and you'll find their podcast. So if you want to learn, just more about essential oils in general, reach out to those different sources, and feel free to reach out to me. So if you're here, that means you found me, you're on my mailing list, and we've had some conversations like that. That's how I had your name. And then some of my leaders are here. So Barbara and Nancy at Future are my leaders, and we've got some other people that have joined us today. So thank you so much for coming. And any questions before I go? Because you are free. It's not really meant to be a lecture. I want your input. I want questions. I want to make sure everybody leaves here feeling like they gained something from this besides a couple recipes.
Jenny, I've been coming to your calls for 2 years, and I can honestly say I had no idea there were so many oils for immunity. I have them all written down. I'm going to start researching.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. You got to remember, most essential oils have really strong immune capabilities for different functions of the body, because that's what they do. These all support different functions of the body. And one thing I also learned was when a plant produces an essential oil, right? If that plant is damaged, it will produce more essential oil, because the essential oil is what is used in the recovery of the plant. So when plants get injured, they produce more oil because they use it to heal themselves. So, essential oils are, it is a healing thing to begin with. So it just makes sense that it would heal us. And plants make sense. We know that our best foods for the human body are plants. We always keep talking about plant-based diet because plants were put here for us. They are wonderful. We should revere plants because they give us so much. They give us nutrition, the best nutrition we can get. They give us essential oils. They are beautiful. They give us nice, pleasant smells, So, and then a lot of plants produce food for us, other food, fruits as well.
And look how long they've been used. I mean, they were used in biblical times and before
they were used before then. I mean, the original essential oils, the original essential oils were 3000 BC.
See that?
They actually extracted oils 3000 BC when they were extracting oils. So,
I mean, they preserved mummies using oils.
Yep. Yeah, they have been used for a lot of different purposes, and we are still just tapping into the very basics of using essential oils. There's still so many plants that we can examine and play with and figure out what the essential oils do. There's still even a lot of components of our essential oils we don't understand. Because each of these essential oils that we have, like celery seed, we know it does some things. We know it helps with uric acid buildup around joints. Yes. So we know it's good for that. But we know celery seed has other benefits for the body. But we haven't examined every single chemical in celery seed oil to find out what it does yet. And we know there's a lot more that we can learn from each of these oils. We're going to keep learning what each constituent part does. And I like to get the oil complete. So, I think nature was smart. And nature made this complete oil for us. When we start taking it apart and trying to manufacture little chemical portions of this, that's where I think we're horribly wrong. Because things were made as a whole. Things were made to be this way with all those supporting things. And if we start trying to take it apart, we're going to find that it does all kinds of weird stuff. And we don't want to do that. So that's interesting because people ask, why is essential oil from doTERRA so expensive? Did you know, like Lang Ylang? So we take Lang Ylang oil. Lang Ylang oil takes 24 hours to get all of its essential oils from it, all of the different chemical components, right? But a lot of companies will extract or steam distill for just 3 hours because it's cheaper, and they only get a small portion of the chemical makeup of the product, which means they're not getting the whole essential oil. And not that they're getting less of it, they're actually not getting the full chemical compounds that they need, which can make it have a completely different effect on the human body. So that's something to remember when you're wondering why are these more expensive? Why are we paying more for these oils? We are paying for the potency. We are paying for the entire essential oil chemical. Okay, so I'm gonna do an event. I'll be doing an event every day at the same time, each day. So 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern, 8:30 for my friends over in Newfoundland. So feel free to join us for any of these. We'll talk about different subjects each day. So each day I'd pick a different subject. I thought now was probably a good time to talk about this one as we're trying to boost our immune system. I want everybody to stay safe, stay well. Look at ways to boost this immune system. Essential oils is a big component. So is healthy eating. Avoiding some of the bad things, avoiding smoking, and just being aware of how you can protect yourself and your family. Okay,
Will it be
guys?
the same link? Denny, same link
Yep.
for the rest of the week?
No, it'll be different links. I'll be sending them out each day.
Okay.
So each
Okay,
day I'll
thank
send you
you.
all out an email on what I'm going to talk about that day. So if you want to join us, then definitely join us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye.
I appreciate your attendance. And if anybody is interested in doTERRA and isn't already a member, please reach out to me.
Take care.
Bye-bye.